As a realtor, I understand the complexities of deciding whether to rent or buy a home. Here's a detailed explanation to help you make an informed decision. Factors to consider. Financial stability. Buying. When you buy a home, you need to ensure you have enough money for a down payment, closing costs, and ongoing maintenance. For example, buying a $300,000 home with a 20% down payment requires $60,000 up front, plus closing costs, which can be another 2 to 5% of the home price. On top of that, you have property taxes, insurance, and repairs. Renting? Renting usually only requires a security deposit and first month's rent. This makes renting more affordable up front. If your financial situation is uncertain or you don't have enough savings, renting can be a safer choice. Commitment to staying in one place. Buying. Buying a home makes sense if you plan to stay in one place for at least 5 to 7 years. This allows you to build equity as the home increases in value and helps offset closing costs and mortgage interest. For example, if you plan to live in an area for 10 years and your home appreciates by 3% annually, you could sell it for significantly more than you paid. Renting. If you're unsure about staying in one location, renting offers flexibility. You're not tied to a mortgage or the housing market. You can move when your lease is up without worrying about selling your home. Market conditions can significantly impact your decision to rent or buy a home. When it comes to buying, in a buyer's market where there are more homes for sale than buyers, you can often negotiate lower prices. Conversely, in a seller's market, where demand is high and homes are selling quickly, you might face bidding wars and higher prices. For instance, if homes are appreciating rapidly, buying can allow you to benefit from that price growth. On the other hand, renting can be advantageous in a housing market that is overpriced or when home values are stagnant. By renting, you avoid buying at a peak and can wait for prices to correct. Let's talk about long-term investment versus short-term flexibility. Buying a home is often seen as a good long-term investment. Each mortgage payment builds your equity, and the home's value may increase over time. For example, if you buy a house for $250,000, and after 10 years, it appreciates to $350,000, you've gained $100,000 in equity, plus the principal you've paid down. Renting, however, is better for short-term flexibility. You're not responsible for repairs, property taxes, or the volatility of the housing market. Renting allows you to focus on other investments like stocks or saving for a future down payment when the time is right. Let's take an example of two individuals, Sarah and Carlos, both considering whether to rent or buy. Sarah decides to rent a 2-bedroom apartment for $2,000 per month. Her only upfront cost is a security deposit of $2,000. Over 5 years, Sarah will pay $120,000 in rent and not build any equity, but she has the flexibility to move if her job changes, or if she wants to relocate. Carlos, on the other hand, decides to buy a 2-bedroom condo for $300,000. He puts down 20%, which is $60,000, with closing costs of $7,500, for a total upfront cost of $67,500. His monthly mortgage payment, including taxes and insurance, is around $1,800. After 5 years, Carlos has paid about $108,000 in mortgage payments. With an annual 3% appreciation, his home is now worth approximately $347,000. If Carlos sells, he walks away with $87,000 in appreciation, plus the equity he's built up through his payments. So who made the better choice? Sarah kept her flexibility, had lower upfront costs, and didn't have to worry about maintenance or repairs. However, she built no equity and may have to deal with rising rents. Carlos committed to staying for 5 years and ended up with significant equity, which gave him a return on his investment. However, his upfront costs were much higher, and he had to manage repairs and other homeownership responsibilities. To summarize, buy if you have stable finances planned to stay in the area for at least 5 to 7 years and are ready to take on the responsibilities of homeownership. Buying allows you to build equity and take advantage of property appreciation over time. Rent if you want flexibility, don't have the savings for a down payment, or are uncertain about your long-term plans. Renting also makes sense if the housing market is unfavorable for buyers, or if your job situation is likely to change. Ultimately, the decision should be based on your financial situation, lifestyle preferences, and long-term goals. If you're uncertain, it might be a good idea to consult a real estate advisor to evaluate your unique situation and provide personalized advice.